We have the parties identified.
Julie Panger with the partner. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Geneva Gutierrez.
Linda Ebling for Millie, present and ready.
And Amber Weatherford, and I'm standing in for Karonda today, Judge.
Okay.
Lindsay Brisden with CASA.
Debbie Gutierrez with CASA.
Okay, tell me about Millie. We just had a final hearing in this case, and is she still with her aunt?
Yes, Millie continues to do well in her placement. She is doing well in school. We spoke with her teachers, and she's going to be receiving supports in class and after school tutoring, as well as Saturday school if needed to help support her in keeping her grades up. She's up to date on her medical and dental. There are no outstanding concerns. Her aunt had the last home walkthrough for the licensing last month, and so I should be receiving a completed home study.
Okay, and Millie continues to be in therapy?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, after our final hearing, did we have any sort of regression or any concerns with Millie behavior-wise or anything like that?
She is still engaging in therapy and benefiting from addressing trauma responses and anxieties around her visitation with her dad. But she continues to be engaging and benefit from counseling.
Okay. What is Millie doing for fun? What is she getting to do?
She really enjoys art, painting, collecting her plushies.
Okay. And you said she is healthy, no medical concerns at all?
Correct.
She's healthy? Any sort of medical issues?
No.
Okay. All right. Is she on anxiety medication?
No, she's not.
Good. Any other medications?
She will take over-the-counter Lactaid as needed, the supplement.
Okay. Have we requested the HESIG and the redaction?
Yes.
Did we have that back?
Neither are back.
All right. And I think I looked in the file and it looks like we have a de novo hearing set in January.
That's what I show, Judge. I believe a jury de novo in January.
Okay. Ms. Ebeling, any concerns regarding Millie?
No, I think she's doing well considering everything. Hopefully we'll get this done in January and let her move on.
CASA? Concerns regarding Millie?
No concerns at this time, Your Honor. I'll echo kind of what Geneva said. We did have a couple of lower grades come up with schooling, but placement was very on top of getting her in to get some extra tutoring and help in Saturday school. Other than that, I think kind of what Delinda said, considering the circumstances, she's doing very well. Placement is working on getting all of her stuff finalized for adoption, and no other concerns.
Okay. All right, very good. I will have another review hearing March the 11th at 9. Ms. Ebeling, you might just let me know what happens at that jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Somebody let me know. Let me have the parties out. I think y'all will be adjourned.
Julie Panger for the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Ana Gonzalez.
Linda Ebling, Adline for the children, present and ready.
Okay. Well, lots of children in the case. There are 7. Tell me about the children. Update me on placement and how they're doing.
Yes, ma'am. Gabriella and Robert are still in the Lubbock foster home with the Archibalds. They're doing good. Well, there's an open investigation right now, but it's being worked on. Otherwise, they're doing good. They're healthy. They're developmentally on target. School is going good. They're passing their grades. They are up to date on medical and dental appointments. They just had their cans and their psychological, so that's going good. We just had a recent, in September, Gabriella was once again sent to a psychiatric hospital for suicidal ideations. She was there for a week and then she came back and she was good. She didn't really talk too much about it, but we did find out what was the trigger point for this incident. She has been talking to her therapist. She's a lot more open now and forthcoming with what bothers her, what she doesn't want, what she likes, and what she doesn't like. She's very more open, so I'm very happy that she's at least more honest now with me. Gabriel is in the Amarillo Children's Home now. His placement was changed on 9/14/2023 due to the behaviors that he was having at the Lubbock home with his siblings. He was still having the incidents where he was touching the other children in the home, so we had to they made a discharge on him, so he was changed on 9/14. But ever since then, he's been doing really good. The INRs that I get from him are just mostly him being sassy, talking back to staff. I haven't had an INR where he's touched another child in that home, and there's 7 other kids in that home, so he's been doing really good with that. His grades are still good. He's developmentally on target. He is up to date on medical and dental, and he does go to play therapy every week, and I get the report saying that sometimes he participates and sometimes he doesn't, but he's doing very good. No concerns there, ma'am. Annabelle was at the children's home too, here with Chol. She just had a recent change on 11/09/2023 where they discharged on her too due to the behaviors that she was having. They were increasing. She's just starting to realize her situation and what she's in with the adoption. So it's starting to come out and she's just feeling confused and scared. So she's been having a lot more behaviors and they did put a discharge on her and she was changed. Placement change happened on 11/09/2023. But before that, she was doing really good. She had her thumb surgery where they removed it on August 4th, 2023. And besides a mild fever she had that same weekend, she's been medically good. No drawbacks on her medicine. Current on medical and dentals, and with her it's always a hit and miss with her therapy. She does open up and she's opening up more now about what triggers her, but she's still very shy, and if she can just brush it off she will. Doing good in school, developmentally on target. Yeah, that's on her. Sorry, ma'am. I'm trying to remember everyone. Beatrice is doing really good. She's placed still here in the foster home with Miss Carrie Powell, who we're getting really close to adoption. I think I already got the HESIGs and redactions, and all we're working on now is the small kinks on the subsidy packet before we turn it in. But she's doing good in school. She started at Honey Elementary. She's really smart. She's very developmentally on target. She's up to date on medical and dentals, and she does attend play therapy, but no concerns there. She hasn't had any major big behaviors, nothing that's triggered her. She does understand that she is getting adopted and is very happy about it. She calls Miss Powell mom now. Dante and Julie are still in the Cleveland home here in Lubbock, Texas. They're doing really good. They just recently changed daycares to Here We Grow, and reports from Miss Cleveland are that they're growing smarter and learning a lot more words, becoming more social. They really love it there. They're both developmentally on target, up to date on medical and dentals, and they don't do play therapy. Dante did get his cans and everything was good. They're also getting adopted. It's just the kinks also in the subsidy packet. HESIG and redactions have come back.
Okay. Any medical concerns with any of the children?
Not at the moment, ma'am.
Okay, and the only medical concern that we really had was with Annabelle, and that was the thumb, and that's taken care of.
Yes, ma'am. She's doing really good. She's very proud and shows off her hand, sans 6 finger.
Okay. Gabriella, let's talk about medications there. Did we have a medication change with this psych stay?
There was. They started putting her on, she was on clonidine, and then they started putting her on something else that was supposed to help. We're wanting a new, I think Cho is wanting to do a new medical update to see if that one will somehow interfere with the ones that she's taking now. But the ones that she's taking out are working for her. She hasn't, besides that small stint she had in late September, early October, she's been doing really good, and she has no side effects with her current medication.
What was the trigger?
There's 2 other foster siblings in the home, and when they go to their visit, it's where she used to live with her bio parents. So when she saw her foster siblings going into that home that she used to live in to go visit their biological mother, who they're still allowed to see, it triggered Gabriella.
What are we going to do about that?
I talked with the foster mom, and Gabriella now stays at the home with the other parent or whoever their backup caregiver is at the moment on Mondays. So Shanna can go pick up the other kids without having to take Gabriella with her so that it won't trigger her. I mean, she's still aware of it, but she just doesn't go with Miss Shanna anymore to that because we know that it does trigger her and it does make her sad to see another happy family in her home.
It's understandable. Okay. Do all of the children get to see each other? Do they get visits?
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, ma'am. Right now they do have Saturday sibling visits from 1 to 3 p.m. We're just working out the kinks with getting Gabriel here every Saturday since he now lives 2 hours away.
How do the sibling visits go?
They usually go very good. It's chaotic for all of them. Foster parents say that they're always happy to see each other. Sometimes they go to each other's events, or instead of going to the mall, they go to the Science Spectrum, McDonald's, anywhere they can go. That's kind of free-ish because it is 8 kids. But other than that, they're doing really good. They love seeing each other. When they don't get to see each other, I try to at least to let them know that each house has each other's phone number and that they can do Zoom if needed, and I can host that and send the invite.
Okay, great. Okay. What do they do for fun besides visit and go to the Science Spectrum and that sort of thing? What do they like to do?
Gabriella is very in love with gymnastics right now, and she's gotten very competitive, and you can see the muscle definition in her change and how proud she is of the fact that she can do squats and handstands without any help. She'll show you. She's very proud of that. It's the first thing she shows me when I go visit. Robert was also very competitive with that because, of course, his older sister is is doing handstands over here. So they're all in the ninja course. So they all get very competitive with each other. They all love it. That's the one thing that they all talk about. It's what new move they can show me. Who can do what and who cannot keep up between him, Robert, Annabelle, and Gabriella, because the 3 of them are going together. And it's always like, Miss, let me show you this, let me show you that, cartwheels. It's very fun. They love that. Robert is obsessed with trucks and the Squishmallows. He loves how soft they are. So is Annabelle. They show me their collection. Beatrice is very smart and she loves books. Like I said, she can memorize a book and she'll read it really fast with you if you go and sit down with her. She's like, let's read a book, and then she'll just read it out of memory. She's really smart. Gabriel's doing really good in the Amarillo's home. When I visit him there, he's always very happy with all the other foster kids that are in there in the home so he can play with them. So it's hard getting his attention now because he gets to play with them and run around. And there's like a little park next to their cottage where sometimes we go outside so he can show me what new thing he can do in the activity park. Dante and Julie are still very tiny, but they're very cute. And I've noticed that he loves just getting on trucks and on the Cleveland's bought him for his birthday one of those go-karts that has lights on it, and it's in the living room, and he'll just show me his new moves that he does around the living room, and he'll race with his other foster brother that's there in the home. Julie, she's a baby. She's growing. She's saying a lot more words. She can now say mama, papa, no. When I ask her if she wants to come here to me, she'll shake her head and say no, but then she'll smile because she knows she's being sassy and cute, and then she'll eventually come to me so I can hug her.
Good. Okay, so we have the younger 3 in adoptive homes. What are we doing to try to get the older 4 in a permanent home?
All of them are on TARE. The TARE coordinator does send me weekly emails saying that there's some homes interested in the individual kids. I was waiting to see if the 4 of them could get adopted together, but it's become a lot harder. And I think sadly, I will start with my supervisor, and it'll have to be maybe 2 or individual adoptions for each kiddo.
Okay. Miss Ebling, concerns with the children.
Not really, Your Honor. I did want to address the visitation with Gabriel, and I started that. How is he being transported to Lubbock? I know there was initially they started or tried out a plan for the foster mother to go get him and bring him to Lubbock. Are they still doing that?
No, ma'am, that only happened once. I still do the request weekly for transportation, the St. Francis team to transport him, and depending on availability, if they do, they will go pick him up and bring him. Right now, we're trying to work with our Amarillo-based team to see if one of the workers there could be more consistent and actually be able to bring him every Saturday.
Okay, and I think that was one of the issues with Gabriella
Yes.
missing her brother.
Yes.
So I think that contact is really important. So thank you.
I do too. If there's a problem with that, Miss Ebling, you let me know if I need to order something.
Again, I think it's logistics. So
Okay, CASA, concerns?
I don't think we have CASA on this, Judge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. There's a lot to this. Do we have a timeline as far as the younger three? Do we know? I know you said we were getting really close. What does that mean?
I am turning in the subsidy packets to our St. Francis team so they can go over it and make sure that I did everything correctly. And then if everything is correct, they send it to Carla so that negotiations can start.
Okay, Ms. Dickerson, I see your face. So are you on these?
Your Honor, I am on the Clevelands. I think there's another little one, Gracie, and she was, the termination is in a different case and just happened. They want to adopt all three at the same time. So I think Anna's working diligently on maybe getting everything there. So I don't know how close we are on Gracie. Anna?
Gracie's HESIG just came back. I'm still waiting for the redactions.
So we'll be filing it, Judge, and as soon as we can get it set, we'll get it set in front of you.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, we'll have another
Julie
review
Painter with
hearing
the
on
department.
the
Also
locust
present is St.
case
Francis
order.
Permanency Specialist Kristen and
Linda Ebling for the child present and ready. And I think placement is also online.
Okay, Ms. Ano, tell me how Naomi is doing. You're still in an adoptive foster home?
Yes, she's still placed in San Angelo with the Rivieras. She's doing really well. She has straight A's in school. She's in second grade right now. There's no educational needs. She thrives in a school setting. She is enjoying playing sports. She's in soccer, basketball. She was in Girl Scouts over the summer. She was in dance. She loves going swimming. She's been doing so many activities since being placed. Since June, she was placed in June. So she's been having a really good time. I do speak to her and I do speak to the family. Naomi has stated to me that she's excited to be adopted and she just loves already calling them mom and dad. And she feels really safe where she's at right now.
Okay, I'm assuming since we're swimming, soccer, basketball, we're a healthy little one.
Yes, there are no medical concerns. She does have eczema and she is on a steroid shot once a month, but there are no major medical concerns or dental.
All right, very good. Any sort of behavior issues?
No, none at all, ma'am. Naomi's very sweet. She has a typical, maybe an attitude like a 6-year or 7-year-old, but she has no major behavioral problems.
Okay. The Rivero family, can y'all unmute?
Hi, Judge.
Hi. You all agree about Naomi? She's a busy little girl and involved in everything and keeping y'all running?
Oh, yes, she is wonderful. She has a true great heart. We just finished soccer. We started basketball. She has such a desire to learn new things and new skills. She thrives in her school and at home. She's very helpful. We don't have anything negative or anything to say about her. She's ready to be adopted. She has a countdown going on and she is just, we're ready.
Okay. I love it. Miss Sibling, any concerns with Naomi?
No, Your Honor, I think the adoption's scheduled for later this week. Is it still?
Yes, ma'am. It's scheduled for the 17th.
Okay. That's what I had from her people.
Fantastic. All right, very good. Is that with me or where she is?
No, ma'am. That'll be in Tom Green County in San Angelo.
Okay. Y'all let me know, send that order or that adoption decree to us so that we can do what we need to do with the other part. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations to the Rivero family and to Naomi. I'm very happy for you folks. It's awesome. Thank y'all for what you're doing for her.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I don't think we'll need one, but if we do, if something weird happens, we'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 9. Thank you. Parties identified.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Samantha Lopez.
And Your Honor, I have filed an adoption on behalf of Misty Stewart.
McKenna Shelton Casa, and my advocate Freddie Martinez is here. He just unmuted.
Okay. All right. Very good. Tell me about Natalie. We're still with Misty. How is she doing in Misty's home?
Natalie's doing very well in Misty's home. She started homeschooling at the beginning of this year, and that's going pretty well. She really enjoys it. She's much happier. So I'm excited for her. She seems to be happier about that decision. She has been given her social so she could start looking for employment because that was something she's been wanting to do, is start working. So that she's been given that. So she's doing really well.
Okay. Does she have any medical concerns?
No, not at this time.
Is she on any medications that we need to know about?
No, just some birth control, but not any other medication.
Okay. And she is in the 11th grade?
Yes.
How's she doing in school?
She's doing good. Misty has updated me and sent me her grades, and she's keeping up with her schoolwork. So she enjoys it. I think she's a lot happier. I know she struggled staying in school last year, so I think this was the best choice for her.
Okay. Is there anything that she's getting to do for fun?
I know she just likes hanging out with her boyfriend. That's really where she spends a lot of time, hanging out and just hanging out with him. But she doesn't participate in any sports or anything like that anymore. She just does homeschooling and hangs out with her family and friends.
Okay. I think you said Misty was on here. Are we in the iPhone box?
Yes, ma'am. That does look like her.
Yes, I'm here.
Ms. Stewart, do you have anything to add? Anything going on with Natalie that we need to be concerned about?
No major concerns. I mean, we're just ready for this to be over.
Okay. I think I saw in one of the reports that we need some help with the driver's license or the driver's education. What are we doing?
Well, it was brought to my attention yesterday that her brother paid for it because I'm not getting any funding. I don't have the extra funds. Her brother paid for her course, and I just have to submit a piece of paperwork to the DMV, and we can get it started. Because it's all parent taught around here. They don't do it any other way. So.
Okay. All right. Any other concerns like that where we need money for?
Do what now? I'm sorry.
Do we have any other concerns like that where we need funds for something?
I mean, just bills.
I understand. Hopefully, adoption subsidies and that sort of thing will help with that. Is that right, Ms. Dickerson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What is the status of the adoption?
Your Honor, we have filed it, and I think Samantha can give us maybe an update on where we are.
Yes, ma'am. She completed and was put in the systems for her licensing as of last week. So we're getting subsidy and all that sent off. So she just got her license at the end of last week, and she was entered into the system for us to see. So we should be moving fairly quickly the next couple of days to get that submitted. She's already signed. She's already done the subsidy paperwork, signed the HESEG. So we just need to put all that together and send it off.
Okay, that all sounds like it's pretty close. Casa, concerns with Natalie?
No concerns, Your Honor. CASA continues to observe Natalie doing great with Misty, and we're just recommending that she continue placement here and that the adoption process continues and hopefully is closer than we think. But other than that, CASA has no concerns. We do recommend or request that she would participate in PAL. I know that she's been in the past iffy about those, but CASA continues to, not request it, but just recommend it to Natalie and offer her all of the benefits that come with PAL. But other than that, no ma'am.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of benefits associated with completing that PAL course, and not just benefits, but the actual classes are good. Also, there's a reason that we want our kids to do that. Samantha, you look like you want to say something about that.
Yes, ma'am. She actually did start. I can follow up with her PALS worker to see if she's completed. I know she started some. I believe the last email I received was they were waiting to get some paperwork back or a packet filled out or something, but she did start.
Okay. Okay, very good. Anything else on Natalie? Okay, we will have another review hearing March the 11th at 9. We have the parties identified if needed.
Julie Panger with the department, also
Thank you.
present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Jason Zoll.
Okay, Mr. Zoll, tell me about Patrick. It looks like he is doing well in his tip period. Mr. Zoll, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. He is. Yes, Your Honor. He is doing very well. He really doesn't want a lot of contact with us, but he's working for Amazon, looking for more jobs. He might have found it in that time. Since I was recently assigned to it, he has not really reached out or responded to our reaching out. So, and, still into sports, but he did not get into college as a walk-on as he wanted. So he left college to probably spend some time and try again for the next season or the next sport that he's interested in.
Okay, but he has his own apartment and he's working for Amazon. I think we lost Mr. Zoll.
Your Honor, I can
Yes,
feel.
Your Honor.
Okay, maybe he's back.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Zoll.
There seems to be a delay, Your Honor.
Okay.
But yes, he has his own apartment and he's working for Amazon.
Okay, and it looks like the children's home got him a car. How did that happen?
That is a good question. I am unaware that they had that kind of funding. So I need to follow up to see if, make sure he's taking care of it and, that's still in good condition.
He had to have some skin in the game, Your Honor. He had to come up with, I think, roughly half the price himself. And Children's Home does seem to pull rabbits out of hats, and they're probably the best in the state as far as coming up with cars.
Fabulous. Okay, and he also gets help with other bills from Foster Life?
Yes, Your Honor. They assist him on some of his smaller bills and, as need basis.
Okay. Does Patrick have any health concerns?
No, ma'am. He's very healthy. I mean, he might, whatever's beyond healthy, he might be that.
Okay. All right. I know he wanted to walk on at Tech, but have we talked to him about the importance of getting into school or a trade program or something as far as long-term plans for a career?
Yes, Your Honor. He had been talked to about it. He kind of waffled with that. I think he was very disappointed about not getting in at Tech and kind of reassessing.
Okay. I would say if he's willing, let's see if we can reach out to the Workforce Commission. They have somebody there that I learned about at our conference called the Vocational Rehabilitation Specialist. We have one in Lubbock, and they will meet with our older youth and sort of do some assessments with them as far as careers and interests and jobs and what's out there. And if he's not interested in going to school, let's see if he's interested in meeting with that person and trying to get some kind of goal in place and work towards that.
We have them more or less on speed dial, plus we
Yes,
share email addresses. And even though sometimes the workers say they don't have barriers for employment, we're still giving them that information because all of these young people, even if they have a job, have some kind of barrier or potential barrier.
Okay, let's break down the barriers. And Mr. Ratton, you're good at that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else on Patrick?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 9.
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Deborah Tracy.
Delinda Ebling for Kalia.
Okay, tell me about Kalia. Is she in San Antonio in an SIL placement?
Yes, ma'am. And she still continues to do good. There was a little bit of drama with another young woman who lived there. But according to her LPS, who's seeing her in San Antonio, that should have been resolved by the end of last month. So I only had a brief conversation with her on the 31st. So I'll continue to follow up on making sure that that did get resolved for her, because it seemed to be something that was causing her some stress. She is currently looking for a part-time job. She is attending school full-time.
I think she is frozen. Mr. Ratton, can you help cover on this one?
Yes, Your Honor. I think she's doing everything she needs to be doing. She's furthering her education. She is in college. She did go through a time period where she was unemployed, but she had been working quite a few hours this summer. I was encouraging her to keep working, and I think she's going to. It's just very difficult. I understand that. But with a child, and we are paying for daycare, I'm not sure how. I don't think she really qualifies through the various different rules, but she has provided daycare to help both with work and school, so she has time. I think the problems with the other resident were resolved, and we have some really good insights there with the LPS worker and supervisor. They're really, really communicative with us, which really helps us to do a better job overall.
Okay, you said she is in community college. What is she studying?
I was hoping that Miss Tracy would get back on. I am not coming. It's not coming to mind for me, Your Honor. I apologize.
That's okay. I know you're covering. And it looks like from the report that she has her birth certificate, social security card, and her driver's license, has a car. So looks like she has the tools to go to work and go to school and do well.
Yes, Your Honor. We have a project right now. Some of them have been losing their identification, or one, or sometimes all of them, and we're trying to fully assess, make sure we lay eyes on all of those, and those that don't have them, that we expedite the situation to get whatever it is that they need.
Okay. Another thing that I learned about at our conference, there are some judges around the state that are facilitating what they call ID days. About once every 3 or 4 months, we get with the people at DPS, get all the information to them, and line all the kids up that need an ID, and bring the DPS person out, and get those pictures taken, and get the kids signing. And if we need to set up a day like that where we have a person at DPS that's designated to do that for us, maybe we can set that up once every 4 months or so.
We do have, we are instituting ID days, but I don't know that we've gone to that level. That's some excellent information for me to try to push internally over here so that we can bring it to that level. Social Security hasn't really been good to us. We had persons trained, and they still will make Mr. Badke do all of the referrals for like Social Security cards. So usually with the young adults, my team and I are just taking them straight to the Social Security Administration with other documents to get Social Security cards. Otherwise, it's a slow process, and we don't want to put everything on Mr. Badke when he's doing all the other work as a liaison. But I bet the DMV I think they might be open to working with us on that. So that we could get some kind of favorable hour or something where we can get in there. I don't know.
Sounds good. Maybe we can find somebody at the Social Security office that would be willing to work with us in a similar manner and have a Social Security day every
Yes, Your Honor.
Something like that.
Thank you. We will certainly work on it. Maybe someone over here worked for them previously, or we can get lucky.
Maybe. If I need to go talk to them, I'm happy to go visit with them.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything I can do to help it. Okay, very good. Anything else on Kalia? Miss Evelyn, any concerns?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll have another review hearing on Kalia, March the 11th.
Julie Payer with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Audrey Reyes.
Jana Cliff Williams, I'm the attorney ad litem for Amelia, the child.
Okay, tell me about Amelia. It looks like we were placed with some great-grandparents in Las Vegas recently.
Yes, ma'am. And I had the opportunity to drive Amelia myself along with a coworker, just due to the concerns that we had at that time with her medical issues. So we were able to get her there safely, but we had a great time with her. We also got to meet the great-grandparents in person. They were amazing. We got to meet Amelia's sister, who was also adopted by the great-grandparents. She was also amazing. Amelia is doing fantastic, Your Honor. I am so happy with the outcome and where we're at this time. She's no longer on oxygen at this time. They were able to get her into the cardiologist. The holes they were concerned about, the doctor was pleased to state that she only has one now, and it's very small, so it was nothing that he was concerned about. They do have a follow-up back in January. She also has her pulmonologist appointment this month, just to kind of follow up as far as the oxygen. But they're pretty sure that they won't have to see the pulmonologist as frequently as she had been seeing them, just because she's off the oxygen now. She's growing. She's almost crawling. She's scooting a lot, but almost crawling. So physical therapy is going to work with her on that. She's also receiving occupational therapy 2 times a week. Physical therapy will only be going out 1 time a month, which is a good thing. So they are just working with her. She's doing amazing. She's now on cow's milk. She's taking that really well. She was having a little bit of a problem eating baby foods and textured foods back in September. At this time, the great-grandparents had stated that she's doing amazing with it now, so they're having no issues there. And so she's not taking any medication, no dental concerns at this time. She's just doing really fantastic, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. We made this placement in August.
Yes.
Okay. And it's an out-of-state placement. How are we doing on the home study?
They've already been licensed, Your Honor. They were licensed prior to us placing. So the great-grandparents got on it. They completed everything they needed to over there. We've already requested redaction HESEG. We have received the HESEG. We're waiting on the redaction. So, I mean, we're moving right along. And the great-grandparents did an amazing job getting done what they needed to on their part. They send us weekly updates to all of us. And so we get to hear how Amelia is doing weekly, and we get to get cute pictures and videos. I'm just really, really happy of where Amelia's placed at and the relationship with the family.
Very good. Ms. Cliff-Williams, any concerns regarding Amelia?
None whatsoever, Your Honor. I reiterate what Audrey has said. Amelia is thriving in her grandparents' home. She's very bonded with her sister. She has moved along, progressed in her development, I mean, by leaps and bounds. When she was transported there, Amelia was a very medically needy child. But now it's like she's moving on. She's pulling up. The physical therapist has even said that she'll probably go from pulling up to walking rather than crawling because she is advancing so quickly. So I am thrilled that she is with her grandparents and that they are taking such good care of her. She is just a beautiful little girl and thriving. So I recommend continued placement. Hopefully, once she's been placed with her grandparents for, I guess it's 6 months, then the adoption can move forward.
Okay. Very good. If I need to sign an order speeding that redaction up, just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor.
All right. We'll have another review hearing on Amelia.
Duly pair with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist Taylor McDonald.
Leanne Fouts, attorney ad litem.
Jana Clift-Williams, I'm the attorney for the interveners, and I'm looking for them, Megan and Jacob Banneman. I don't know if they're in your waiting room, Your Honor.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay, I see you now. Okay, thank you, Megan.
Okay. Tell me how Kaitlyn is doing. It looks like we are still, are we with the same foster home?
Yeah, she's still placed with the Vennymans here in Lubbock. She's been with them for a while now. She's doing really good. She's still in therapy, but it's only as needed instead of once a week. So she's doing very, very good. She's up to date on her medical and her dental. She'll be 5 years old next month. She's in pre-K. She's doing really, really good in pre-K. She loves it. She just finished soccer and she starts gymnastics today. In soccer, she kind of did her own thing. She had fun. That's all that matters. But she's doing really good. She's doing very, very good.
I've seen what soccer for 4-year-olds looks like. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, her foster family said she chased her ponytail around the field.
Okay. All right. Very good. Any concerns at all with the placement for Kaitlyn?
We have no concerns.
All right, Ms. Banneman, you want to unmute yourself for me? Tell me, what do you think? Anything to add to that very good report about Kaitlyn?
I think we've seen her speech grow. We've seen just how much she's grown in pre-K. She's recognizing her letters and her numbers now. And we have noticed a significant difference. And so last week, she actually started gymnastics last Monday. And we've noticed a significant difference in her ability to pay attention to what's being taught instead of being super scatterbrained. And she's grown so much in the last few months. So we're just really proud of her. And she's so happy.
Any idea what worked there as far as improving her focus?
I think pre-K, for one, helped a lot. But also she has no visitation. She hasn't had any visitation since July. And that's really stabilized her. And knowing that she's in a permanent place now has really stabilized her too.
Okay. All right, very good. And play therapy with Shalina is as needed. How often are we needing that?
We kind of check in once a month with her, and if she's doing good, then she'll give me tips and stuff. So this month she's given me some tips. She was having some accidents at school and wouldn't tell her teacher that she had an accident. And so I spoke to Shalina about that, and she told me to make a sticker chart and ask her what she wanted her reward to be at the end of the week. And so we've done that in the last 2 weeks. She has not had a single accident. So, and then Shalina said if that didn't work, then she would step back in and we would go from there. So yeah, she's doing great.
Okay. Very good. Maybe Mr. Covey can help me figure out how to do that for my dog when my dog has accidents.
Amen. Amen.
I know everybody on here with an older dog understands what I'm talking about.
We did get a puppy. We recently got a puppy. We got a little miniature schnauzer, and she absolutely adores him. And he's been really good for her too.
Awesome. Okay, very good. Ms. Fouts, any concerns with Kaitlyn?
I don't have any concerns. I've always known that the Venemans would take really, really good care of Kaitlyn. I did want to make the court aware that LISD reached out to me. I think the Venemans had requested that the school start referring to Kaitlyn by a different name, so we don't get Kaitlyn too confused about that. I instructed the school that legally they can't change her name yet, particularly since there's an appeal pending. So I know that Venemans are anxious to, and maybe they refer to her to a different name at home, but we can't do that just yet.
Okay. I understand. What is the status of the appeal?
Judge, I just looked that up, and it looks like the notice of appeal was just filed. The reporter's record, there's an extension granted on that one midweek last week. And so there have not been any briefs filed. So it is at the very, very beginning stage of that appeal process.
Okay.
Your Honor, we have not requested redaction or HESA yet, but we will get that done this week. And hopefully it'll be back by the time we have a ruling.
Great. Okay. Anything else on Kaitlyn?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to set this for another review hearing March the 11th at 10.
Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Jennifer Contreras.
Joanna Belford with CASA.
Okay, Caitlin Wimberly is the attorney ad litem for these kiddos, and Miss Wimberly is not able to be here today. Okay, tell me about these kids. We still have Kristen with an aunt and uncle.
Yes, Judge. Kristen recently turned 16 years old last month. She is still with her maternal aunt and uncle, and she's thriving in this home. She's doing very, very well. We have no concerns. Her maternal aunt and uncle have expressed that they do want to take their time on adopting her. They don't have any concerns with her. She's having basic behaviors for a child her age, but they do want to take their time on the adoption, setting an adoption date, and they're hoping that next year around this time would be the ideal date for them. Kristen just, she turned 16 last month, and she recently got a part-time job. So she's working at United as a sacker, and she's loving it. She just started working this past weekend. She is up to date on all her medical and dental exams. Aunt and uncle have no concerns with her in the home. She's doing very well at school. She has mostly A's and B's. She's loving that she gets to change classes. She has A day and B day. She continues to be on a 504 plan. So she does have help daily, regularly, and tutoring is available if she needs it, but right now she actually doesn't need it. And for fun, she loves being outdoors. She's really enjoying this part-time job, even though she's only done it for a few times. She just started last Friday, and yeah, there's no concerns with Kristen right now.
Okay, any medical concerns?
No medical concerns. No, Judge.
Okay. I'm okay with the adoption going slowly, and that's because of the multitude of behaviors that we had at the previous placements with Kristen. So I think it's probably a good idea to go slowly with the adoption. Do we see any sort of signs at all that some of those behaviors are creeping back in?
She does have some behaviors. She will express to her therapist that she sees dead people. But when her aunt asks her about it, she will deny that and say that she does not see them. She does have just your typical teenage behaviors, Judge, lying. She'll try to go to school with makeup on, and that's just a rule in the house that you can't wear makeup just yet. And she likes to cake it on her face. But Aunt is helping her with that and just put it on to look to where she looks natural. But she loves just the dark red lipstick on her lips. So just very typical behaviors for her age right now. Nothing too concerning, Judge.
Okay. I don't have an issue with typical 16-year-old age appropriate behaviors, but that's not what we typically had with Kristen coming into this home. So that's very good. I'm very pleased by that. You're still on the same medications? Do we have any medication changes we need to talk about?
Yes, we do have some medication changes, Judge. She is now down to just a couple of medications. She still takes her ADHD meds, and her aunt she did get her own phone for her 16th birthday. So her aunt has set a timer on her phone to where she can where it goes off to where she knows when she's supposed to take her meds. So her aunt will help her prepare her medications and her little pill box. But she takes medications she takes a birth control, and then the only other medication she takes is her seizure med.
Okay.
Yeah, they sorry, this is Joanna Belford with CASA. Yeah, they recently took her off of 2 of her medications, the benztropine and the naltrexone. And my understanding is the seizure medication, she hasn't had any seizures. And so they recently sent her to a neurologist to evaluate whether she actually needs any seizure medications or not. So yes, her medications have been reduced and she seems to be doing okay with that, but they're just going to double check with that neurologist just to make sure.
Okay, great. Casa, any additional concerns regarding Kristen?
No, I think Jennifer covered everything. It's just remarkable since she moved in with her aunt and uncle how well she's doing. Most of her behaviors are pretty normal, and she's really excited about that job and getting to open her first bank account. So she's made tremendous progress, and Casa's very pleased with her placement.
Beautiful. Is she doing PAL?
She is. She has completed her life skills. She completed that in the week of last March of this year. And she did get assigned a new PAL worker who informed me she was going to reach out to Kristen for additional, life skill classes. And Brittany let me know last week that she has not reached out to her. So I'll need to get in contact with her to let her know that Kristen is interested in those extended classes.
Great. What is Kristen interested in as far as school, after high school job? What do we think she might be planning?
She does hope to go to college. She's not sure if she's going to want to go to a 4-year college or cosmetology school. So she's still thinking about that. She's doing extremely well in school. So her hopes for college are, graduating high school and then attending college after graduation are pretty high right now on her goals.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, very good. Anything else on Kristen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and Kyler is in the same group home that he has been in for some time?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, how is he doing?
He also recently had a birthday. He turned 12 and he's doing very, very well. He continues to be on tear. Unfortunately, we do not have any adoption inquiries at this time. Kristen's aunt has informed me last month that she would like to make contact with Kyler, and in the event that she can be placement for him if a home isn't found after Kristen is adopted, she has informed us that she does also want to be placement for Kyler.
Okay.
Kristen and Kyler have not had any contact with each other since I've been the worker judge, but in Kyler's placement, he's doing very, very well. He is up to date on his medicals, his dental exams. He just had a dental last week, and there were no concerns. He's doing very well in school. He's loving his new home, his group home. He moved from a more PERS 1 group home to a more PERS 2. And so he was able to stay in his same school, keep his friends. And in this home, his local worker is very pleased with his home because she says that every time she goes and sees him monthly, that it's more like a home setting. They call each other mom and dad, and all of the boys in there, he calls them his brothers. They're very close. He has expressed that there is a teen in there that, or not a teen, I'm sorry, a peer in there that is his age, and they like to wrestle a lot, and sometimes they can get pretty rowdy, but that's his best friend, and he has no concerns with this placement, and he feels safe and really likes this placement.
Okay. He's on lots of medications, is that right?
He is on a lot of medications. He also has to take a medication for the side effects for all the medications that he's on. He is on an ADHD med. He's on a medication for aggression, another for ADHD, or actually he's on 3 meds for ADHD. And then the last is for allergies. He has seasonal allergies.
Okay. That's quite a bit. Casa, what do we think about Kyler?
Casa thinks Kyler's doing great. I think Jennifer covered most of it. I would just add that I attended an ARD that was called on short notice in September because he had made so much progress on his 504 goals at school that they were actually recommending to move him out of life skills and into general education. So that was excellent news. He's at a really great elementary school there in Katy ISD, and he has a lot of support and a team working for him. And you can tell because of the amount of progress that he's made. So he was super excited to be moving into general education and getting his own Chromebook and some more independence. And he is doing, like Jennifer said, really well in the home, gets along. They call him Mama T, is the foster mom, and the brothers. I actually Skyped with him on his birthday. And so they put me there at his party where we all sang happy birthday to him. So all of his brothers were there, and Mama T, where he was opening his gifts, and he was really happy. And I think he's doing really well in that home.
Okay. He's in therapy. Is that right, Jennifer?
Correct. Yes, Judge.
Let's talk to the therapist about the aunt.
Okay.
And her willingness to be a placement, and see the best way to approach that with Kyler.
Okay.
If the aunt is willing to do that, and the therapist thinks that the 2 kids being placed back together would be okay, we need to work on it for plenty of time, I think, leading up to a placement like that with some family therapy. And the aunt needs to get some education on some of the behaviors that have happened in the past, particularly with the kids together in placement. So I think a placement like that would be great for Kyler, but I think it's going to take some time to get there. So let's talk to Kyler's therapist and maybe Kristen's therapist.
Okay.
On the best approach. And let's have a plan in place on how we're going to get there, if that's the plan.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, will do. Thanks, Judge.
Okay. Anything else on Kyler and Kristen?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. I've already said another review hearing March the 11th.
Julie Mayer with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Charlie.
I think I saw Ms. Khan on here earlier. Okay, Ms. Lee, tell me about Ebie.
Ebie is doing amazing. She is, she's meeting friends, or she's making friends. She was just accepted to Crosswind Credit Recovery School. So she switched schools from Granbury. Wait, I'm sorry. Grapevine. No. Oh my gosh. Grand Prairie High School, where she was passing all of her classes, and she was doing so great there, but she wanted to get into this credit recovery school, and she started 2 weeks ago. She's doing great. She's already making credits, picking up her credits in class. If she continues to excel and pick up her grades, she will be graduating soon, within probably next year, meaning like March of this year coming up. Ebie, she has given me 10 schools that she's interested in. She wants to stay at this placement. She does not want to continue to be on tear because she doesn't want to be adopted. She wants to get into college, stay on the campus, and become a zoologist. She participated in homecoming last month. She got dressed up. She put her makeup on and demanded that I was sent pictures of her. She looked beautiful. She's doing so great. I tried to get her to participate in court today, but she wasn't able to due to starting that new school. There hasn't been any medical concerns. She has not had any seizures. She is really coping. She said, Miss Charbra, I found out through attending therapy that not everyone's going to like me. And that's their problem because I'm excellent. And so she's just doing so great, able to cope with things that she's not happy with, but she's able to cope with it. She had her first job interview last month at Olive Garden. She didn't get the job, but she's just ready to work and get started on her life, she says. So.
Okay, so the therapy is going well, and I saw in one of the reports that she talked to her mother and that went well.
Yes, she talked to her mom. Mom was wanting to start bi-weekly phone calls and therapy sessions, but the therapist has tried to call her twice, and Ebie said she told the therapist, don't worry about it because she's not going to allow her mom to rope her in only for disappointment. So Ebie asked that they stop trying to make the calls.
Okay, sounds like Ebie is maturing quite a bit.
She is.
It sounds like. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay.
Also,
Casa, tell me concerns regarding Ebie.
It's Melissa with CASA. I visited Ebie in September and went to her school and her placement, and she was doing excellent. She looked beautiful. She looked healthy and great. I was able to give her a birthday gift, get her school records, and also deliver clothes to her placement. School-wise, like Barbara said, she has been accepted in Crosswind, so she's excelling over there now and getting a credit to graduate early. She thinks she's going to graduate in December. However, I think she's just kind of excited to get that done. So I think it'll be more next spring. And of course, she still wants to attend Texas A&M as her top choice. And she has a list of other colleges. She's even kind of branching out. That doesn't have to be in Texas. But she wants to visit a college campus. So I'm going to arrange for her for placement to take her to some local campuses so she can get an idea. She wanted to go to Corpus Christi, but I was like, I don't think that's going to be manageable. So we're going to get her to see some local college campuses. I talked to her last week, and of course she had the interview for Olive Garden. So that's been updated whether she got the job. I know she's probably disappointed she didn't get that. But I am going to be setting her up some volunteering opportunities so she can work with animals. So I'm hoping to get her in at the Fort Worth Zoo or the Dallas Aquarium because she wants to work with some marine animals and animal sciences when she goes into college. She's also wanting to get her driver's license. So going to look into driver's ed for her. And in the court report, I put that she was working with after services with PAL. She has not completed PAL. So she's needing to do some rescheduling with them to get back on track with that. So that needs to be corrected. I was not correct about that. She did have an important question. She wanted to know where she was going to live after she graduates. She would like to stay in placement or in dorms when she gets accepted to university. Like Charper says, she's not interested in being adopted. She's focused on just moving forward to independence. Her therapist has glowing reviews about her therapy and how she's dealing with her trauma, especially with the incident that happened in Houston. That is forefront on Ebie's mind is how that case is going and being handled of what happened over there, And so far, I've not heard back on any status update of it, of what's going on with it. So I'm hoping to dig more and find someone who knows what's going on. But otherwise, she's doing great in therapy and dealing with that. In CFE, I reached out to family members. The only family members that have returned any interest whatsoever in doing CFE video visits with Ebie is Brenna Anderson. And Ebie's excited to do that. And of course, Mom hasn't responded. I can't get a hold of Mom to participate or anyone else. I told Brenna to reach out to other family members and ask them to get involved if they'd like to. And of course, Ebie's still only wanting video visits through CFE. And also, if they don't come to a CFE meeting to discuss anticipations of what to expect and what to do and how to talk with her, and she's not interested in having to keep, pulling them in. They either want that initiative to speak with her or not. And she's not going to be bothered by it. And so, and her therapist feels like she's dealing with that wonderfully. Other than that, she's just continuing enjoying her hobbies, reading, and she's also currently in need of a laptop and clothing. So working on getting, I know Charbo's working on a laptop. I've got a connection for a laptop, and she needs winter clothes. So going to be sending some more clothes to her. So other than that, she's doing great. I'm so, and seizures, few and far between. She seems to know how to handle them now, and otherwise medically and dental hygiene, everything, she's doing great. I couldn't be even more proud.
Okay, Ms. Khan, this sounds like the best report we've had on Ebie. Would you agree? Ms. Khan, you're on mute.
Unmute. There we go. It certainly does. It sounds like a good report, one of the best I've heard pretty much of all time that she's been in care.
Okay, I love it. Let's make sure that she finishes PAL. I'm perfectly okay with her aging out. If she's doing well in this placement and continues to improve the way she is, I have no problem with her aging out and going to school and going to the dorms and all of that. It sounds like a great plan for Ebie. Okay, let's work on helping her get that driver's license, her birth certificate, her social security card. Let's make sure that she's all fixed up there. Okay, we'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 10.
Newly payer with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Heather Eubanks.
Terry Morgeson, attorney ad litem.
Okay, tell me about China. She is living in Amarillo and working and starting Amarillo College in the spring.
Yes, ma'am. China is thriving and doing so well. When I was given the opportunity to do this hearing, I was excited to be able to do so because I'm so proud of this kid. She is in a SIL placement. She works at Tap House right now. She has a great support system within her work family, as well as her previous placement that she lived at. She has many friends and family-like friends there that are her support system, as well as here in Lubbock. China's actually headed to Lubbock today to visit her great-grandmother. She's fallen ill, but she's always been her biggest supporter and loved her very, very much and shown her that very much. So she's headed to Lubbock for a small visit right now to see her. China reports that she's doing well. She has everything she needs. She's excited to start school. She's got a great head on her shoulders right now. We're really proud of China's progress.
Okay, did she graduate from high school?
Yes, ma'am, she did. She finished this summer and then officially walked late in the summer. I believe it was late August. But yes, ma'am. And they had a graduation party for her. It was wonderful. Yes, ma'am.
I think I remember seeing some pictures of that and she looked fabulous.
Yes, ma'am. And I can send you some more. I got to be there and visit with her and I would gladly share some with you, Judge.
That is great. Okay, does she have any medical concerns?
Not at this time, no, ma'am.
Any medication issues, anything going on as far as health?
No, ma'am. No medical issues, no concerns there. She reports that she knows how to, go to the doctor if she needs to. I talk to China probably weekly. I feel like I'm a big support person to her. And when she has mom questions like that, like, hey, do I need to do this or do I need to do that? We're able to work through those things together.
Great. Okay. Does she have a driver's license?
She does have her driver's license. She was working towards a vehicle. That's why she's working so hard to save up some money to get a car. But yes, ma'am, she does have her driver's license.
Okay, and tell me about the sub placement in Amarillo. What's it? Is it the children's home there?
Your Honor, I'm not sure. I apologize. She sent me pictures of her sitting on the couch watching TV, though, and it looks really nice.
Your Honor, it's the Perch. It's a new women's only SEAL program, and they are working much more intently than a lot of the SEAL programs we work with young women and with their specific and unique issues and whatnot. They've done a remarkable job so far.
Very good. Okay, Ms. Morganson, concerns with China?
No, Judge, she's doing amazing, just like Heather said. Really proud of her with the decision making that she does, and she just exhibits a lot of maturity, and she is her best advocate. She really is.
Okay, I'm very proud of China too. Come a long way, and it sounds like she has done a great job. Okay, do we know what she wants to study at Amarillo College? What is she interested in?
She is still very interested in culinary and business.
And do we know what restaurant she's working?
At Tap House. It's like a steakhouse. She's waitressing.
Okay, maybe she'll move on up to cook there. Or somewhere even fancier.
Yes, ma'am.
Really
China's goal has been, when I very first took China's case a long time ago, her goal was that she wanted to go to culinary school and she wanted to open up a hotel with a very fancy restaurant in it. And I fully believe in China 100% that that's something that she can do.
That is fantastic. Okay, very good. Anything else on China?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 10.
Hanger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Audrey Reyes.
Sarah Hudman, attorney ad litem for Cassius.
Stephanie Anderson, CASA.
Mary Duenas, CASA.
Okay, we moved Cassius to a new RTC in August.
Yes, Your Honor. He was placed there on August 31st. Since Cassius has been here, he has continued with some of the behaviors we've already been experiencing. Although these behaviors are happening, I'm really happy with the placement. They have been a huge encouragement with Cassius. They continue to redirect him and talk to him and motivate him to make better choices. We have all been doing that for Cassius. At school, he did have to repeat the 9th grade, so he's still currently in the 9th grade. We have had an ARD meeting for Cassius to assist him in some of the areas that he struggles with in some of the classes. Cassius is currently failing a lot of the classes, and this is just due to him either skipping class or not trying and just guessing and turning in papers that are uncompleted. I mean, he continues to do these things. We continue to, again, motivate him, encourage him to work on these things. But Cassius decides to do what he wants to at this time. He is doing individual therapy weekly. He also does group therapy at the RTC. I've heard, great things from the counselor as far as Cassius participating and being more open and talking about some of the things that trigger him and his feelings and things like that. The therapist has worked really closely with myself as far as providing notes and different things that we could all work with Cassius. And so we continue to do that. He is up to date on his medical and dental. He just recently got his glasses. He had been needing those. So they got on it, scheduled his appointment, and he got those glasses. He is also participating in PALS right now. And I believe he's already completed the life skills part. So he just completed that, I believe, as of last week. But other than that, physically, Cassius is doing well. Again, I'm very happy with the participation from this placement. They're very thorough. They get things done. And they have all been very encouraging and also helping with Cassius as well.
What's the plan as far as permanency?
At this time, Your Honor, we are working with Cassius as far as the behaviors and things like that, so he can be adopted by family. He has verbally expressed to me that he wants to build a relationship with his mom again. He's been telling me this for several months. I have reached out several times to his mom. She recently reached back out to me about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and expressed that she is wanting to also create this bond with Cassius. I have spoken to Cassius' therapist and kind of expressed to him what Cassius told me. He also stated Cassius had been mentioning that to him. So they had another session specifically in regards to that to kind of see what Cassius' approach was. And he thought that it would be a good idea to start that slowly, just something that we have talked about, maybe starting with a therapeutic setting with the therapist there with Cassius and his mom via Zoom. And I believe that should be getting set up this week, Your Honor. We would just kind of like to see how that goes, and then maybe doing Zoom visits between Cassius and his mom that could be monitored by St. Francis. And then hopefully working our way, if things look good and based off of everybody's recommendations, doing in person. And that's just something Cassius, like I said, had stated to myself. And so I've kind of reached out to everybody kind of just to get everybody's approach, and especially the therapist. And he believes that that's a good idea. And so we'll just kind of work with that at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, what do we know about Miss Muriel at this point? Where does she live? Is she working? Is she sober? What do we know?
So she has expressed to myself that she has been sober for she said a couple to several years. She couldn't remember the exact date. She is living here in Lubbock. She is currently living with a friend and her spouse. She's not able to work at this time, as about a little over a year ago, she had open heart surgery. And so her doctor has not released her to work at this time, but she is looking for something that maybe she could work remotely at home. So she did express that that's what she was currently trying to do at this time. She did sound interested in building this relationship with Cassius. I did, express to her my concerns as far as, I wanted to make sure that this was something she was wanting to do long term and not just temporary and just not hear from her again. So I did go into a lot of detail with her in regards to that. And since then, she has been in contact with myself as far as trying to see when these visits could get set up with the therapist and things like that. So we've been in communication probably for the last, like I said, month and a half to 2 months as far as that. So I'm really hoping that she sticks to her word, Your Honor, and we can move forward.
What would we think about maybe setting her up with some individual therapy with Mr. Gatlin or somebody like that for maybe 3 or 4 sessions just to determine her commitment level before we start the contact with Cassius?
Yes, Your Honor, I would be more than happy to try to get that set up. I did tell her, if there was some other things that came as far as her doing certain things that we requested, and she did advise that she would be more than happy to do those. So I can definitely let her know. And if she's okay with that, we can move forward and get that set up.
And I don't think it would be a bad idea just to educate her on, my notes indicate we had the adversary hearing in this case in 2017. So it's been a long time that Cassius has been in care, and I don't have any idea what she knows as far as what Cassius has been through while he's been in care. So maybe just a period where she's being educated about Cassius's issues and how to deal with issues and concerns and behaviors and all of those things. And I think just the therapy, I think, would be helpful just to do that, but also to gauge just how committed she is to having him back in the home.
Yes, Your Honor. And just to get clarification, you would like for me to set her up with Richard Gatlin for a few sessions before doing the therapeutic visits with Cassius and the therapist?
I think it would be a good idea, yes.
Okay.
I just don't want to get Cassius's hopes up if Mom's going to flake out on this.
Yes, Your Honor, that's exactly what my concern is as well.
Okay. Ms. Hubman, additional concerns regarding Cassius?
Not really, Judge. You hit on exactly my concern. She's made promises before that have not come to fruition, but it is what my client wants. And so if that's something that could be successful, then that would be fantastic. At the ARD meeting, there was some good positive solutions, I hope, put forward about Cassius and trying to help him because they were pinpointing the times when he was getting in trouble and not keeping his hands to himself and that's when he would get in trouble. And they do seem to have some things set up with like a surrogate mom type thing, and that lady seemed great. She seemed no nonsense. But also definitely cared for him. So I echo that this is a better placement than we have had in a while. But he definitely needs a lot of structure. And I like your suggestion regarding bio mom, because this is not the 8-year-old little boy that was, that when her rights were terminated. And so she's got a lot that she needs to understand as well. But if there are some Zoom or therapeutic Zoom or whatever, so that Cassius can see that she's interested and she hasn't fallen off the planet again, I think that's great. What I mean is, if she gets engaged in counseling, I would support going ahead and setting up some therapeutic visits, even if she hasn't completed counseling, just so he doesn't get discouraged and then act out. And as a absolutely non-counselor person, I don't know if that's the right, it says counselor at law, but I didn't write that. That's what I think. I mean, I think she needs to work on some things. He needs to work on some things, but then also a little bit of, encouragement along the way that they are both working on it, assuming that that's what happens. So
agreed. Casa.
Yes, ma'am. The only thing, everybody has pretty much covered everything. I did want to just kind of elaborate a little bit about the surrogate parent and how content we are with having them there. She has really formed a bond, her and her husband, with Cassius, and I think that's been a very, very positive influence for him. So that is really helping and stabilizing him and keeping him engaged. And like Ms. Hudman mentioned during the last ARD, it seemed like we had a lot of meetings all at once within a week period, but they stated that he was failing most of his courses, but in 3 of them, he was able to bring him to a passing grade. So they very much gave him credit for doing that. And we're very excited that he was actually getting those 3 classes to a passing grade. So that was very encouraging. And the safety plans that they kind of came up with to kind of alleviate some of those situations to where Cassius was getting in trouble on the bus or in school before or after. It seemed like the school really tried to come up with something that was a good solution to help him instead of just, dismissing any of it and, chalking it up to bad behavior. So I want to also just echo that it is a good placement. Miss Diamond's on the call, I believe, and she's been wonderful at providing us wonderful updates about, his behaviors and how good he's doing. It's not always about all the bad behaviors. We get to hear a lot of positives in this placement where he's at. And I know they were going to be working with him to get him an original birth certificate and social security card as well. So we're very grateful for that.
Okay. Sounds like we have a plan going forward. Hopefully this works out for Cassius. All right. Anything else? Okay. I will set another review hearing March the 11th at 11. I'm sorry, 10.
Have the parties identified? Julie Payer with the department, also president of St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Granite Branch.
Craig Johnson, attorney ad litem for the child.
Okay, Ms. Branch, are we still with an adoptive aunt and uncle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how is Michael doing in that home?
Michael is thriving in that home. He's getting closer to reaching more of his developmental milestones. He's doing well in his ECI for speech and OT. He has been discharged from ECI for nutrition. He's started to walk, and not only walk, he is running now. So he's enjoying going to all the family sporting events and games and fall activities with his future adoptive siblings. He's healthy right now. He has had no additional medical issues. He's sleeping good, eating good, and just doing really well.
Okay, Mr. Johnston, any concerns with Michael in this home?
No, none at all.
All right, very good. He will be 2 soon. Tell me the status of the adoption. Have we requested everything?
Yes, the HESEG, the redacted file is back. The HESEG has been requested. Mrs. Salazar and Mr. Alman are in the process of looking for an attorney. And then on my next home visit, we're going to sit down and fill out the subsidy paperwork.
All right. All that sounds very good. Okay, very good. Anything else with Michael?
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 11. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Duly paired with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Shanika White.
Okay, I think Miss Evelyn is present as well. Attorney and guardian ad litem. Tell me about Marisella. We've been with the grandmother since February, but it looks like from the reports there are problems.
Yes, Your Honor. So she was with Grandma. Grandma did request a placement change about a month ago. Grandma is taking care of a sister that has cancer. So we were looking at other options for her. There is a potential placement in Houston with DePelchin. So that is an option as well. Over last week, Marisella was arrested. She was arrested for organized crime. Her and some friends and her mom were in a stolen vehicle. So she was in jail for 3 days last week. When she got out of jail, I found out that grandmother had completely moved out of the home. So we, yes, ma'am. So we looked at other relative options for her as an unauthorized placement. Her sister is staying there. She is 20. We ran criminal FPS checks and she was cleared. So after staffing with my supervisor and the program director, we put her sister over her as an unauthorized placement. She does know that DePelchin is wanting her as well. She's unsure about that. She is currently pregnant. She had a doctor's appointment last week. She missed that as well while being incarcerated. We had a circle of support scheduled last week. That was also missed. So we're just kind of doing what we can with her. Contact with her is kind of hit and miss. She has no working phone. I attempt to go over there and either she's there or she's not there.
How long was she in jail?
Yeah, for 3 days.
Okay, and is she being charged with with organized crime as an adult?
Yes, Your Honor, she is. She did tell me that her friend who stole the car is supposed to write a letter and hopes to get that charge dropped off of her, but she does have a pretrial person that she's seeing, so she will have to go back to trial for that.
Does she have an attorney?
No, Your Honor, she does not.
Certainly we can maybe help with that.
Yes, Your Honor.
We need an attorney ASAP, especially given some of the admissions that she's making right now. That's very concerning to the court. Miss Evelyn, maybe you can help figure out how to get her an attorney appointed in her criminal case.
We can look into it, Your Honor. I think sometimes that's a pretty slow process when the case is not even filed yet. It would still be in the magistrate stage, I think. But and as far as the Pelchin and moving her out of Lubbock, I'm sure it would violate any bond agreement that she has. So that also needs to be taken into consideration before she's relocated out of the county. Sometimes they think they can get these letters or whatever written and get out of these things, but it's a pretty serious matter as far as I can tell at this point.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yep. We need to get on the same page about where she's placed, and is she willing to go to DePelchin if it's okay with the judge in the criminal case?
She is, but then she's not because it's far away. So she's kind of like up in the air of even like moving anywhere.
Do we know how long the grandmother was not living in the home?
I just found out Thursday, and the grandma told me 1 to 2 weeks. Last home visit I conducted, grandmother was there. All her belongings were there.
Okay, Marisella is a senior at Coronado, but she's not attending?
She has not attended, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have truancy charges or anything like that we're worried about?
Not as of yet. The school does keep in contact with me. Marisella first stated that she's not going because she doesn't have any clothes. I got her clothes. Then it was the transportation issue. There's a bus route that will pick her up. So she's just...
Okay, has she been to the doctor regarding the pregnancy?
No, Your Honor, she has not. It was scheduled on November the 7th, but she missed it due to being in jail. So her new appointment is December the 1st.
Do we know how far along she is?
Roughly 3 to 4 months.
What's her plan?
She plans on keeping the baby. I have tried numerous times to take her to the doctor. Like I said, I make the appointment, I tell her when it is, I go to pick her up, and she's not there. I did ask her, being a mom, I mean, like, you have to have education, you've got to work on what her plans were that were. And she says that she can get money.
None of that sounds very good.
It does not. And I've tried to talk to her several times.
She'll be 18 at the end of January.
Yes, ma'am.
Does she want to age out? Does she want to be on her own? Does she want to be in care? Any idea?
She wants to be on her own.
Does she have a driver's license?
She does not.
Social security card and birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am. She does. She has those.
Does she have an ID?
She does not. We were supposed to go and get her ID. She also had a warrant for a previous shoplifting charge that, once again, I made an appointment to take her to court to go and get that taken care of, and she missed that appointment as well. She did tell me that she sat out her warrant while she was in jail. So hopefully we can get her an ID card now.
Maybe a job?
Yes, ma'am. I asked her about working too, and now she says she can get money.
This sounds awful. Like maybe trafficking. Are we looking into that with the special investigator?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
Well, let's see what we can find out there, because I got an older teenager involved in crime and telling me they can get money. That's where my mind goes.
Okay.
And she was arrested, best I could tell, with 3 other people that had the same charge, arrested around the same time. That I believe they were all older than she is. So I don't think she's running with a very good crowd either.
It was her mom, a friend, and her uncle's friend. Yeah, so.
And she's pregnant. So all of this makes me think trafficking. So let's get with the special investigator and see what we can figure out what's happening.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything good to report at all with Marisella?
He looks healthy, so that's good.
You think the pregnancy is going okay? Any sort of concerns?
I don't have any concerns, Your Honor. She's eating more, I can tell. Her face is fuller, so that's a big change.
Okay, Miss Evelyn?
I don't have anything to add, Your Honor.
Another thing that I learned at our conference was an issue with Medicaid when our kids age out in jail. So let's make sure that if she is rearrested, charged with a crime and rearrested, and turns 18 while she's in jail, it's my understanding that she loses Medicaid, which would be terrible. So maybe Sasha can help us figure out how to navigate that and make sure that doesn't happen. If she is rearrested before she turns 18, let's make sure we get Sasha involved and figure out how to make sure that she doesn't, especially since she's pregnant, so that we know that she has medical care after she turns 18.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that the CPS Medicaid or Medicaid on her if she gets it on her own, or both?
I think it's both. That's what they told us. That
Okay.
a humongous problem if our kids age out while they're in jail, their medical benefits go away completely, and then they have to reapply and go through the whole process. So,
But they can reapply. Well, if that's something.
yeah.
Okay.
So let's make sure that if she gets rearrested between now and January 27th, let's just make sure Sasha Smith knows, and let's figure out how to figure out a way to keep her Medicaid if we can. Sasha, are you aware of what we can do to avoid that?
I'm not aware of anything to prevent it. I think it has to do with funding, like federal or state funding. They can't receive funding from Medicaid if they're in jail for some reason. That's what
Very problematic, because that'll be about the time she might be having a baby.
And I think I'll have to check, but I think that they have to be in jail for so many days for it to kick them off. But I can check on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, anything else on Marisella?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll have another review hearing March the 11th at 11. Let me have
Thank
a
you.
to identify.
Thank you.
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Cody Gardner.
Sarah Hudman, guardian ad litem for Joseph, present, ready.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
Don Cogdill, supervisor.
Okay, tell me about Joseph. We're in an RTC in Houston.
Yes, ma'am. He is at Houston House of Hope right now. He ages out on 11/26 of this month. We've been working with SIL, trying to get him moved over because he would like to move back down this direction so that he can attend South Plains College for their HVAC program.
Okay, is he willing to do that?
Yes, ma'am, he is. That's his request, is that he wants to do that. He's finishing up his GED right now. He has 2 tests left to take. He has his reading test and his English test left right now.
Okay, good. All right, has he had any sort of behavior concerns at the RTC since September?
He's restless there. He thinks that he's a little too old to be there because most of the other people that are there are a lot younger than him, so he refuses to do any of the outings with him and everything. But other than that, he's mostly been good there. Just a little bit of verbal getting uppity with staff and everything if he doesn't think they're treating him right.
Okay.
Or if they tell him no on something.
Okay, well, he's a 17-year-old boy, so some of that's to be expected, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Healthy? Any sort of medical concerns?
Not at this time. He's still refusing counseling at this time, but as far as physical health goes, he's the picture of health. He's eating well, still working out. He's in good physical condition.
Okay, is he on any medications?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Good. And he does have a part-time job working in
Yes,
HVAC?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He's actually found a mentor there that is teaching him kind of the ins and outs of it before he goes to school for it. And he's working part-time with them.
Okay. But he still wants to come back to the Lubbock area to go to college?
Yes, ma'am. So he can get certified and work or have a certification that he's allowed to do more on that instead of just apprenticeship kind of jobs.
Okay. Do we think maybe South Plains in the spring might be a reasonable
As long as he
goal?
can finish his coursework. Yes, ma'am. As long as he can finish up his coursework and all of that, then yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. And he has his birth certificate, Social Security, and his ID?
Yes, ma'am. And he's working on getting his driver's license.
Okay. What about a car?
He does not have a car yet, but he claims to have enough money saved up to get one for himself.
Okay. Very good. Is he doing anything fun?
This weekend he went out with some friends there, but mostly just like going to the store, hanging out with friends. Nothing too crazy. But he doesn't want to go out on any of the outings with the other kids in the RTC because he thinks they're all too little for him. So they went to the swimming pool earlier whenever he was there, and he wouldn't go with them because he thought he was too big for that.
Okay. He was in jail at one time. Are we concerned about any sort of pending criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am. They don't have a court date set in either Crockett County or Hill County yet. And whenever I last talked to them about it, they said that they're so backed up that it could be a year or two before they have a good firm court date set up for those.
Okay. Does he have an attorney for the charges?
No, ma'am. Not yet.
All right. Mr. Shaw, concerns with Joseph?
No, Your Honor. He wants to do the independent living in Lubbock and get a job until he's 21. And then at 21, he wants to go ahead and move down to Midland and work in the oil field. He's having contact with his sister in Lubbock. His brother went through the child CPS system, but he doesn't know where that brother is.
Okay. Ms. Hudman?
I echo what these gentlemen have said. My biggest concern right now is that he finishes up the GED before he moves anywhere. I'm very glad that he it still wants to, you know, still wants to receive help as far as the PAL and all that, and not just turn 18 and walk out the door.
Okay, is that right? Is he going to sign an extended care agreement, live in a SIL placement?
Yes, ma'am. He already has.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Mr. Shaw, could you check with the Hale County folks in that other county and see if we need to get an attorney appointed for him?
He has one in Hale County. I don't know about Hockley County. He said they're misdemeanors, and so they're low priority.
Okay, so these kids seem to know more about
Hockley, Mr. Shaw. It is Crockett. It's Ozona.
Right.
Is where it's at.
That's what he said, Ozona.
Okay. Mostly sounds very positive on Joseph. Anything else on Joseph?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Okay. I'll set another review hearing on Joseph, March the 11th at 11.
Thank
y'all.
Thank
you. And if I could just for a moment, if y'all get word that he gets moved back here, can y'all let me and Mr. Shaw know? Great, thank you.
Judge, can I keep you on for just a second?
Yes, and Jim Shaw and Sarah Hudman, if y'all will stay on for just a second.
I had a feeling that.
Man.
I can't remember what.